Hey guys, welcome to Troy Time. Hey, check it out. Today we're going to talk about probably one of the most productive and one of the most important things to learn how to grow, especially in hydroponics, and that is high density greens, okay? Especially high density lettuces, okay? Super important to learn how to grow them. Super productive, great thing to grow. We've been covering a lot of unique grow method in this series, and this is part of it. We're going to talk about these high density greens relative to growing them in these green seed lids that we've been using, and eventually putting them into our stackable planters, okay? We're going to show you the details so that you can do it super simple at home right along with us. So be sure to stay tuned. This is going to be a quick video. We're just going to knock out a few differences between how we do high density greens and how we do our microgreens, okay? So stay tuned. There's good stuff coming. Check it out. Okay, guys, I love high density greens. Okay, I've grown them a lot in the past in a lot of different systems, right? I've grown them in tubs, as you see here. We've also grown them on plates and just had tons of success. We've also used things like our hanging shoe rack and did an awesome job growing them that way. Just every different way you can imagine. We've grown them outdoors in an outdoor tower, right? That was somewhat high density. We could have maybe increased that a little bit. We'll revisit some of that this summer. And we've also grown it in solo cups, right? That's about what you can expect of the method we're going to talk about today. And we've actually even grown them in decorative coffee mugs, right? Which was a great little thing to do. So either one of these last two methods, it's going to be about equivalent to what we're going to see coming off of our mid-size indoor hydroponic tower. It's going to work out awesome. And that's what we're going to talk about how to do next. So stay tuned for this. Let's go over some of the details. All right, so one of the things that's different between growing microgreens and growing these high density greens is that we are going to want to use the red solo cups for this because they're going to give us a bigger reservoir. They're going to give us more space because it's going to be a bigger plant. Remember, these are going to be growing for about a month as opposed to the microgreens that are usually grown for about a week. All right. Additionally, what we're going to want to do is we're going to modify these solo cups just a little bit, all right, because we want to take advantage of the largest reservoir that we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut small holes in the bottom of the cup, just like we did for our double cup method when we were seed starting. So we do want those holes there. That's going to help the roots go down and go through and use the whole capacity of the whole level of the stackable planter. All right, much like when we did the double cup method, the stackable planter now becomes that second bottom cup. So it's going to prevent any roots from being root bound inside that single cup. So there you can tell you could do more holes than what you see here, but that's going to allow the roots to come out and use that whole area. And that whole area is going to be also filled with our nutrients. As opposed to the green lids, which can only use down lower than what we see here and only partial depth of that level, the red solo cup can now, the liquid can go almost all the way up to the rim of the green stackable planter there. So it's a huge reservoir and a lot of space for your roots, okay? So we definitely want to use all that space both as a reservoir and for a place for our roots to grow, which is going to allow us to have massive amounts of great high density greens. All right, guys, so for our tower, we're going to be using the same green seed lids that we've been using throughout this series, okay? But we're going to have to do a small modification. We're going to have to make some bigger holes. These high-density greens are going to be growing for about a month, and so their roots are going to get kind of big during that time. So the regular green seed lid holes are going to be too small, so we have to modify that. And we're going to do that with a soldering iron. We're just going to go through with a soldering iron. You can get one at Walmart for like $5 or $6, and we're just going to poke the holes a little bit bigger. This is about perfect. This is going to give those roots just the right amount of space so that when they get larger, they won't get choked out and your plants can continue to grow. It's real simple to do. It only takes a minute or two for each lid. If you get the 12-pack of lids, I recommend leaving some just regular for your microgreens and then modifying some so that you can grow these high density greens. Okay, it's going to work out really well for you. Now, most of our green seeds are very small, and especially with the bigger holes, we're going to have to use something to catch them to keep them from falling down through, okay? And so we're going to use toilet paper, just like we did for some of our smaller seeded microgreens. We're going to use a single sheet of usually Scott brand toilet paper. You don't want to use a paper towel. It's too thick and some of the roots won't go through. And you also don't want anything double multi-level or anything like that. You want just a simple thin sheet of toilet paper that's basically going to act like a net to catch our seeds, okay? And you're just going to basically either break it or cut it into form so that it fits inside the little circles. And then again, this is just going to act like a net to catch the seeds. It's going to dissolve in about 3 days. It won't even be there. But the seeds by that time will have sprouted and they will have taken grip on the mesh and you won't even need it after that point. So it's beautiful. It's just going to go away. So right now we have it on there and then we're just going to spritz it with some water. right? And that'll just make the toilet paper kind of stick to the mesh. And then we're going to put our seeds on it just like that. And we're going to put about 12 seeds. Right now we're using Paris Island romaine, which is one of the best greens you can grow, guys. It really is. So this is what that looks like, okay? And if you've got a few more than 12 or 15, that's fine. We can thin out as we go. And you can actually harvest some of them early and then keep the other ones growing until eventually you have about a dozen or so on the actual little tray. This is the look at another one, a little bit on the side. The toilet paper kind of got bound up, but that's fine. There's still plenty of seeds there. It's going to work out just fine. And here we got to look at all three of them. And these are, again, we're going to start them on this plate, and then we're going to transfer them into our tower after the roots go down. So that's the plan. This is what it's going to look like. So here they are on the plate with the automatic watering method we just talked about in our last video. And that works awesome, guys, because now you don't even have to touch them. I used to have to spritz them 3 times a day, and it was a little bit of a pain. And now I don't even have to touch them. I can just set it and forget it. And it's a thing of beauty. It really is. Here's another little look here. And yeah, so we can just set this and basically we can just walk away. We'll come back in a few days when it's time to transfer them, right? I'll give you a little peek when the seeds actually germinate. But now you could also, if you wanted to put a humidity dome on this, you could. Lettuce and green seeds, they tend to germinate even with the light, so that's fine. You may want a humidity dome. It may not even be needed. Here's another little method that you can use. These little plastic mason jar covers work great for humidity domes as well as the red solo cups. Honestly, from what I'm finding, you don't even really need one. But that's what you would do if you decided that you did want to do so. Okay, guys, so we jumped ahead 3 days, and now you can tell those seeds have already popped. They've germinated. They're already starting to lift up off the plate, and they look great. Previously, I would have had to just keep these things in the dark and spritz them 3 times a day, but that automatic watering method is just awesome. It keeps the water level just perfect, and this has worked out entirely awesome. These are going to be great. Okay, we'll take a look at it here just from a couple little other angles, but this just works out perfect. The high density greens are just an awesome way to go. From here, we're going to put these in the solo cups right into the stackable towers. They're going to be just wonderful. Okay, so yeah, so these have just worked awesome, and I didn't use any sort of humidity dome on any of these. It might be necessary where you're at. It depends on the temperature house, the humidity, you know, how much light is around, all kinds of different things. But yeah, so there they are, and all we did was just let them sit. Right after I put the lids in there, I just walked away, and I came back, you know, 3 days later, and the sprouts have germinated, and there's a great look of the roots too there. So they're just starting to come down, and once those roots start come down, once they get down about an inch or so, that's when we'll transfer them into the red solo cups, and then right into the towers. All right, but yeah, so it just looks great. I'm super pleased with this. I really like the automatic watering method. We're going to show you even some improvements on that just in the next couple videos here to come. So just tons of things you haven't seen before still on the plate to show you. Like and subscribe to the channel, guys. We'll show you when we transfer these to the tower as well. It's going to be awesome, though. They're just going to form just a giant sort of bowl of greens all the way around the tower. It looks great. Here's what you can expect. That's in a red solo cup with one of the tango lettuces right there. But if you want to see what the actual romaine looks like, it looks like this one here. So you can imagine 3 of those around the side of that tower as it's going up, and the 3 green lids sitting right in the cups, and it's just going to make just a wonderful bowl of greens right around every level that you use them. So it's going to work out awesome. But you'll see that in the very near future. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get to that point. Okay, so check back on the channel, check back daily, because we got lots of other videos coming before we see these. But we'll definitely be keeping monitor on these and showing you what we got, along with all the other stuff that we're growing. So tons of videos coming your way, guys. We still got improvements on the watering system that I haven't showed you yet. Still other ways of growing we haven't shown. There's a ton coming up. Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe. Leave me some comments, guys. I like hearing from you all. We'll talk to you again real soon. Check back, because we got lots of stuff coming. This is Troy Time. I'm out.